Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to finish up our notes for Target 3A. And really our last step is looking at equations in a slightly different form. We looked at the standard form yesterday, and we also have what we call the general form of any equation. So let's look at what I mean by that. So example 5 says find two equations for a circle with center negative 2, 3, and a radius of 5. Find two equations for a circle with center negative 2, 3, and a radius of 5. So yesterday the equation we're used to, right, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So here I really switch the sign, right? So this is x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 5 squared. Or x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 25. So that's our standard form of the equation. That's what we were looking at yesterday. From this, we can get a general form of the equation. So I have x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 25. So basically all I'm going to do is expand it. So this is really x plus 2 times x plus 2 plus y minus 3 times y minus 3 to 25. So I'm just going to do my I'm just going to FOIL for both of these sets of multiplication. Right? So x times x is x squared. X times 2 is x. Right? I also have plus x plus 4. Right? For my y's, right, I have y squared minus 3y minus 3y plus 9 equals 25. So I'm just going to combine my terms. I have with 1x squared, I have 4x's, I have 1y squared, right, minus 6y, and I have 4 and 9. Right, so just combining all my terms there. Then, right, really all last thing I need to do is set this equal to 0. So I need to subtract 25 from both sides. So x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 6y. 13 minus 25 is minus 12 equals 0. So these equations are the same, right? Our two equations. One we call standard form, and one's the general form of really any equation. So what we're going to look at today is starting with this general form, given this type of equation, getting our center and our radius. It's a little bit more complicated because it's not just there for us like it is in our standard form. So let's look at example 6. Example 6 says write the equation of a circle in standard form. Right? So I have x squared plus 6 minus 6x plus y squared plus 8y plus 5 equals 0. Step 1 says move the constant to the other side. So we're going to look at our constant. Right? Remember, your constant doesn't have a variable in it. And I'm going to move it to the other side by subtracting 5 from both sides. So now I have x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 8y equals -5. Step 2, group your x's and your y's together. So by that, right, I'm going to put parentheses around my x's and I'm going to put parentheses around my y's. For these, right, we're kind of getting to, I'm going to scroll back up for a second, this step here where we multiply out. Okay? So we're kind of grouping these x's and these y's together. So, here, we're actually going to have a constant in here that we need to find, right? So I'm going to just leave a little bit of space there to show that I'm still looking for another number. Our third step is to complete the square for x. Right. So by completing the square, we're finding this middle number. There's lots of different ways people teach this. The most basic is you take this number, divide it by 2, and then square it. -6 divided by 2, right? Which equals -3 squared, which equals 9. Okay? And that's what goes in my blank here. So I have x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared plus 8y blank equals -5. And then this part that says keep the equation balanced, since I added a number on this side of my equation, right, anything I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. Alright, we did our x's, now I need to do the same thing for y. So my fourth step is complete the square for y. Okay. So it's going to be using that 8 there. So it's the same type of thing. 8 over 2 squared, right? Which is 4 squared, which is 16. So everything else stays the same. So I have x squared minus 6x plus 9. Plus, right now I have y squared plus 8y plus 16 equals, I have -5 plus 9. Now I also have to add in that 16, right, from here. Anything I add to one side, I have to add to the other side. Then my last step is to simplify. So I have, right, I'm going to look at this part first. Right? This simplifies using this number here. This is going to be x minus 3 squared, right, because this number is -3. Plus, this part simplifies with this number here. Is y plus 4 squared. Equals, right, and then I'm adding all of these together. equals 1. This now is my standard form of the circle. If you kind of remember what you're trying to go toward, it does help out with what you're trying to write your equation. So then I just need to find my center and my radius. So here my center, right, comes from -3 and 4. So I have to flip the sign. And then my radius, right, comes from the 20. Goes to square root of 1. So you can leave it like that. Alright? So completing the square has a lot of steps to it, and you kind of got to remember them all. You have looked at completing the square before. We usually use it to solve quadratics. Right? We looked at it last year. But now we're going to look at circles, using circles. Okay? Alright, let's look at our next problem. Alright, same type of thing. And have one extra step. Alright, write the equation of a circle in standard form. I have 2x squared plus 2y squared minus 8x until y is 8. Anytime you see a number in front of your x and your y, all you're going to do is divide everything by that 2. So I really have x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 6y plus 4 equals 0. Okay? So if you ever see a number in front of your x squared and your y squared, you divide everything by that number. Alright, so then, starting with our first step, we move the constant to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract 4. And I have x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 6y equals -4. Then I need to group my x's and my y's together. So this part's a little bit different because they're not in the same order. So I want x squared, right? And my other x, so minus 4x, leave a space. And then I need y squared and my other y. So even if they're not next to each other, we need to write them next to each other, right? That's what that step is. So step 3, complete the square for x. Alright, so I'm taking this number, -4, over 2 squared, right? -4 divided by 2 is -2 squared, which equals 4. So I have x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared plus 6y, still don't know what that number is, equals -4 plus 4. Okay? Now I'm going to fill in my y term by using that number. So I have 6 over 2 squared, which equals 3 squared, which is 9, right? So I will have x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus, for my y term, right, I have y squared plus 6y plus 9. And that equals -4 plus 4 plus 9. Right, I added a 9 in here, so I have to add a 9 in there. Last step, simply simplify it all. Right, my x's are really x minus 2 squared, right? My y's are y plus 3 squared. Negative 4 plus 4 plus 9 is simply 9. So for my center, I have, remember your signs switch, so that's 2, negative 3. For the radius, right, square root of 9, which equals 3. Alright, and that's it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow.